Step inside my twisted world, where heroes will collide. Villains aren't the only evil, there are no fucking sides. Every match will test their stats, every loss and win are weighed. Any chance they thought they had could all end up in vain on Combo Breaker.
You know, I don't typically watch the news, and it's for good reason too. There's typically something really sad or depressing or just awful on there that makes you doubt your faith in humanity. And it's awful. But then I'll later in the day go watch like a movie or a TV show or something, and then immediately think, you know what? We really don't have it as bad as compared to some of the people that you see in fiction. I'm of course talking about today's fighters. Bubba Sawyer, the cannibal with the Leatherface, and Negan, the bat-wielding psycho from The Walking Dead. Ah, yes, The Walking Dead. I fucking love this show so much. Although it's kind of no longer about The Walking Dead. Honestly, they should call it they should just call it AMC's The Fucked Up Head. Ah, stupid jokes aside, let's go ahead and hop right into what Negan's actually packing for this fight. Alright, since Negan actually doesn't have any powers, let's hop right into his arsenal. He wields a combat knife, useful for stabbing people, an axe, useful for chopping people, and he also wields some guns, such as an Uzi, a Desert Eagle, and an assault rifle. And you know what? That seems to be all that's really in his arsenal. Wait, I'm missing something? Yeah, you guys really need to start telling me all this stuff before I start recording. Okay, what am I forgetting? Oh, that. Yeah, I don't think anyone actually cares about that weapon. It's kind of forgettable. I mean, do I really need to mention it? Okay, fine. I was just informed you guys don't give a crap about the rest of his arsenal. Instead, you want to hear about Lucille. Well, Lucille is Negan's primary weapon, and it's a baseball bat wrapped in fucking barbed wire. Yeah, it's useful for bashing skulls and hitting home runs. Wait, a bat swings for home runs. Oh my god, Negan's confirmed for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Woo! He's not? Damn it, why don't you people tell me this shit? Ugh. But if he wants to get even more dangerous, Negan can actually play dirty, and not in the kinky way. No, I mean he'll actually cover his bat in knives and even his bullets in zombie blood and guts to infect people as he hits them with it, causing horrible side effects such as blindness and, well, overall sickness. So on to what Negan's actually accomplished feat-wise. Negan's strong enough to knock a full-grown person to the ground with a single punch. He's also picked up and slammed full-grown people to the ground, and with his baseball bat, he can easily break human skulls and shatter zombie parts. He's also shoved his knife through Rapey Dave's neck with ease, and he's gutted a man with his knife as well. Negan's also pretty damn quick. He can keep pace with Rick in a fistfight, he can outrun most zombies, and he dominates most opponents in fistfights, dodging most of their attacks. Plus, he's got a very, 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 very questionable off-screen speed feat. You see, there's a scene where a girl shoots a bullet at him, and the screen goes black, cuts to Rick for a few seconds, then it cuts back to Negan and the girl, and he's only up his baseball bat with a bullet in it. Now, it's questionable whether or not he blocked it or she missed it, but it's still something I should bring up. He's also pretty damn durable too, as he's been tackled to the ground, survived backhands and punches from full-grown people, and even having a gun explode in his hand. He's also survived getting his throat slit, but he did need immediate medical attention afterwards, otherwise he would have died. So now on to intelligence, and this is where Negan actually really shines. He created a group of survivors who are loyal followers and call themselves Negan, despite being previous criminals and awful, awful people. He also, he mainly did this with fear though, and that's truly Negan's best trait, is his power to manipulate people and use fear as a weapon. But this also leads to his biggest problem. Negan is super overconfident, and using his fear often leaves him, open to attacks. He's once given his bat to Rick before, trusting that he wouldn't kill him with it as he's scared of him. Yeah, that could be a huge problem if he's not given time to instill fear into his opponents though. Alright, it's time to talk about Leatherface, my main in Mortal Kombat X and Dead by Daylight. Alright, so Leatherface actually has one ability. Yeah, despite not being a supernatural killer, he actually does have one super cool power, and that's an abnormally high pain tolerance, meaning he actually doesn't feel damage nearly as much and won't be affected of it by, well, he'll feel the damage. Like, it'll definitely take its toll on him, but it'll take a lot more damage for things to actually affect him. Leatherface carries his signature chainsaw, used to hack and slash opponents. He also carries a meat cleaver for hacking opponents, a sledgehammer and meat hammer for bashing in their skulls, and if he doesn't ever want to saw foes, he can really use just about anything, including his bare hands. But if he gets in real close, he has an electric bone saw for just absolute murderous destruction at an up-close range. He also wears a mask made of human flesh. Yeah, that's actually terrifying, like really fucking scary. So let's talk feats for this scary monster of a man. He's strong enough to rip the hood off of a car, fracture a person's skull with a single hit of his hammer. He's busted through a wall, kicked down a door, sawed a person in half, and even picked up full-grown people and thrown them over his shoulder. Not to mention, he can carry a 16-pound chainsaw over his head while running. Yeah. He's quick enough to chase down people running in fear while they're pumped with adrenaline, despite him carrying a 16-pound chainsaw above his head. And keep in mind, Leatherface isn't exactly a fit dude. He's actually pretty heavy. He survived being hit by a truck, and then having his own chainsaw shoved through him. Holy shit, that's intense. He's also had his arm chopped off and continued killing people. Not to mention he also took a freaking grenade blast at point-blank range and lived. Yeah, you don't want to mess with Leatherface. Now, while Leatherface may be a powerhouse and super quick on his feet, he's actually mentally slow, as he does suffer from a mental disability. But despite his disability, he's actually very cunning enough to successfully kill multiple people and went uncaught for a very long time. But Leatherface is far from perfect. He's actually terrified of women and his family, and he can be tricked quite easily by hiding. If you hide in a well enough location, he will struggle to find you. Alright, the combatants are set. Let's see which of humanity's worst will come out on top in a fight to the death. Alright, Negan is walking through the woods as a zombie shuffles behind him. Negan turns to see the zombie as he laughs and throws the zombie to the ground and smashes his skull in. He's then stopped by a growl from the trees. He turns around to see Leatherface running out of the trees waving his chainsaw. He then rushes over and swings it over his head at Negan, who dodges to the side.
Well, well, well. Looks like we got ourselves a predicament.
Leatherface swings his chainsaw at Negan's side, but Negan dashes back and hits Leatherface across the face with Lucille. Negan then laughs for just a second before he realizes Leatherface is seemingly unaffected by the attack.
Oh shit, you're a resilient one, aren't you?
Leatherface then headbutts Negan and follows up by hitting him in the side of the jaw with his hammer. Negan then falls to the ground as Leatherface stands over him with his chainsaw raised over his head.
You know what I was thinking? I was thinking you didn't have any guts.
Negan then stands up and stabs Leatherface with his knife. As Negan rips the knife out of him viciously, he rips out part of Leatherface's entrails.
But I was wrong, because your guts are right fucking there.
Leatherface then grabs Negan by the throat and smashes his head with his meat hammer. Leatherface drops Negan, who stands back up narrowly and swings his bat at Leatherface, hitting him in the head. Leatherface growls in pain as Negan hits him again and again with his bat. Negan then smiles as he charges his bat up for one last swing.
Lights out, big guy!
Negan swings his bat full power, smashing his bat against Leatherface's head, shattering Lucille. Leatherface then roars out as he shoves his chainsaw through Negan's chest and revs it up, pulling it upwards, splitting him clean in half. Leatherface then lifts his body over his shoulder and heads home to feed his family. Alright, our winner is Leatherface. And wow, poor Negan didn't stand much of a chance in this fight. Let's go ahead and talk about their strength and durability. Negan has the strength to shatter a skull with one swing of his bat, and he's taken multiple people on in a fistfight before and taken multiple punches. He's also survived a gun exploding in his hand. But Leatherface was able to bust through a wall, survive a grenade blast, and be hit by a car and then stand back up and rip the roof off of said car. He's also had his own chainsaw impaled through him, and he lived. So yeah, poor Negan gets outclassed, like, physically when it comes to strength and durability. But when it comes to speed, there actually might be some hope. You see, in the speed category, Leatherface is super quick. He's able to catch a full-grown human running at their top speeds while pumped full of adrenaline, while he's carrying a 16-pound chainsaw over his head. That's pretty stupid fast. But Negan's best speed feats do come from fistfights, which ordinarily mean that they should be around the same speeds when you think about what they've accomplished. But Negan does have a highly questionable, most likely outlier feat where he did block a bullet. So they should be tied in speed, with Negan possibly being faster. But Negan does actually edge out in skill and intelligence, as he is the leader of the Saviors and he's outsmarted Rick for extended periods of time. While Leatherface does have multiple successful murders, he's still mentally challenged and has been outsmarted by certain people while he hunted them down, most of the time just by hiding and waiting for him to leave the area. So Leatherface is physically superior and should be equal to speed to Negan, but Negan is more skilled and, well, smarter. So what about some X factors then? Maybe that could completely turn the tide of this match. Well, Leatherface has his high pain tolerance, meaning he can take hits from Negan and he won't feel them as much, especially since Negan is weaker than Leatherface, and Leatherface's chainsaw is going to hurt Negan a shit ton more than that baseball bat's going to hurt Leatherface. But Negan does have biological weapons. By using the zombie blood to infect his opponents, well, he could give them blindness. problem is, it takes a while for this infection to set in, as we saw with, well, Father Gabriel. It took him forever for the blindness to fully set in, and a short-term fight like this against Leatherface, where he's superior, where he's going up against someone who's physically superior, he's not going to have time for that blindness to set in. But what about Negan's guns, right? He could just shoot Leatherface in the head and end the fight right there, right? Right? Well, yeah, he could. But let me ask you something. How often does Negan actually use a gun? Yeah, he doesn't do it all that often. Unless he's locked in an actual gunfight, he most of the time doesn't actually use a gun, which would be a huge downfall in this fight for him. So yeah, poor Negan didn't have much going for him. Looks like Negan struck out in this fight. Yeah, no one chainsaw this outcome. Oh god, double pun. This is baseball and chainsaw. Ugh. Our winner is Leatherface. Next time on Combo Breaker. Yep, next time we've got a battle of the best friends, Banjo-Kazooie versus Jak and Daxter. First of all, let me thank you all for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share this to any friends you know who like versus debates. And, tell me what you think of the next match. Give me your predictions, maybe suggest matches in the comments, and they might happen.